OMG, let's revise 1.1 ecosystems. So at the bottom here, I've put 9 different questions. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so the answers then, so define the term producer, a green plant that makes its own food. We have the term primary consumer or first stage consumer is the first animal to eat in the food chain. Number 3, what does a pyramid of numbers represent? It's the number of organisms at each trophic level, whereas the pyramid of biomass for number 4 is the biomass of the organisms at each trophic level. Number 5, what do the arrows show in a food chain? They show the direction of energy. 6, how is energy lost through the food chain? It's movement, heat, urine, feces, or growth. Number 7, what species indicates levels of air pollution? It's lichen. Number 8, define the term bioaccumulation. It's the buildup of toxins in the food chain until it becomes toxic. And finally, eutrophication is where fertilizers wash into lakes and ponds. It causes the overgrowth of algae on the surface, so no sunlight can reach beneath the surface of the lake. The plants below die as they cannot photosynthesize. Decomposers break down the dead plants and respire, causing oxygen levels to decrease and ultimately leads to fish dying. Okay, have a go at these past paper questions. Pause the video and then we'll go through them. Okay, so the first past paper question says, draw a labelled pyramid of biomass for the food chain containing the organisms named in the above table. So we've got our organisms here and we've got our biomass with the units of kilograms. So we need pencil and ruler. Okay, we're going to start with the producer, which is algae, and we're going to make sure that we're writing next to it 112,000 with our unit kilograms. Then we have small insects, large insects, perch and pike. So it's 2 marks. You get 1 for the name pyramid correctly following that food chain up, and the mass is correctly written at each stage as well, at each level. Okay, so over in part C, we're asked to calculate the percentage increase in concentration of DDT between the small insects and the pike. Okay, so we can see here in our table, we have the small insects, 0.03, and the pike at 5.62. So what we want to do is we want to take those away. So 5.62 minus 0.03, and that gives us the difference, which is 5.59. And we're going to divide that, okay, by the original, so 0.03 times 100, and it gives us this percentage increase, 18,633.3. Okay, moving across to the other side then, we have a flow diagram showing the transfer of energy between different organisms on a rocky shore. For part A, we're asked to calculate the energy efficiency of the starfish. Okay, so here we have the starfish has 100, whereas the kind of input original was 400. So we're going to do 100 divided by 400 times 100, and that's going to give us an energy efficiency of a quarter, so 25%. At the bottom there, calculate the percentage of energy entering the muscles that enters the starfish to 3 significant figures. Okay, so when we're looking at this, we have the energy that enters here, the muscles, which is 222,000, and the energy that enters the starfish at 400. So in our calculation, we're going to do 400 divided by 222,000, times that by 100, and that's going to give us a percentage of 0.180. Okay, it must be to 3 significant figures for those 3 marks. Okay. Okay, so again, more past paper questions. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so in this question, we've got a flowchart showing the energy flow, okay, in an ecosystem. Over on part A, we have state the main process occurring in the cells of living organisms, which leads to energy loss shown in the flowchart. That's respiration for 1 mark. In B, calculate the total energy available to decomposers. So what we're looking for is this here. Okay, it's the total energy available. We're going to add those up. Okay, we see these numbers here, and we're going to pop those, okay, in that box. So total energy available was 1,575. In part C, calculate the percentage of the energy from sunlight that is used by small plants. Okay, so again, looking at the flow charts, okay, we can see that the energy input, okay, is 1,260,000 from the sun, but the useful energy is 6,300. So coming back over to the part C, we have 6,300 divided by 1,260,000, times that by 100, and that gives us an answer of 0.5 for 2 marks. Again, have a go at the past paper questions, pause the video, and have a go. We'll go through them at the end. Okay, so in this question, we're given a pyramid of numbers, and we're asked to show the correct relationship in the food chain by adding these numbers to that pyramid of numbers. The smallest and thinnest bar is our oak tree, so we're going to pop 1 there. The thickest is caterpillars, and the highest number is 3,456, followed by blue tits at 17, and then sparrowhawks at 2. Okay, so in part 2, we're asked to draw a labelled pyramid of biomass, so we need our pencil and ruler, and we've got these 4 trophic levels. We're given the biomass at the bottom, so we've got the oak tree as 5,137 kilograms, followed by the caterpillar at 43 kilograms, the blue tits at 1.2 kilograms, and then finally the sparrowhawk is 0.18 kilograms. Okay, because we're following the line of the food chain, but we know that biomass is always the heaviest at the bottom, and then it decreases as it goes towards the top. Okay, and over to part B, we're asked to complete the following diagram. So in terms of 2 marks here, we get 1 for this side and 1 for this side. We've got caterpillars, okay, because that follows oak tree to caterpillars, blue tit to sparrowhawk. And on the right-hand side, we start with the producer. We're given the first stage consumer, so the next one box to fill in is the secondary consumer. And you've got third stage, okay, for 2 marks. Part C, okay, the correct answer, okay, in which the following do all the processes add carbon dioxide to the air, okay, is respiration, combustion, and decomposition for that 1 mark. Final questions then, featuring 2 6 markers. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so in the first 6 marker, we're given a food web or in an area of grassland. So we can see the producers with green plants, and then we have our first stage consumers. We're asked to identify the herbivores and second stage consumers in the food web above, and then explain how the populations of each would be affected if the rabbits here were destroyed. So what's really important, we're going to split this into 2 parts. We're going to talk about the herbivores and secondary stage consumers first. The herbivores being any 2 from rabbits, mice, flies, or aphids. The second stage consumers, any 2 from birds of prey, shrews, spiders, or ladybirds. Okay, so the first section done. The second, what would happen if the rabbits were destroyed? You'd have more green plants. Okay, you'd also have things like flies, aphids, any herbivore increase in number. The carnivores, shrews, spiders, ladybirds would also increase in number. And numbers of mice could decrease. Mice are the only source of food for birds of prey. The numbers of birds of prey decrease, or any reference to competition. Okay. Final part then. So a farmer whose land borders a lake decided to grow cereal crops sprayed with artificial fertilizer. Describe the probable environmental effects on the organisms of the lake for 6 marks. So I've laid these out clearly. 1 mark for fertilizer runoff. Second is it causes algal bloom or excess plant growth. The third, if you mentioned, it prevents light reaching the plants in deeper water. The fourth is stating that the plants would then die and decay. Fifth, the oxygen levels would therefore decrease, so the bacteria use oxygen for respiration. And the 6th mark to say that the fish die or they suffocate. And that's the end of the past paper questions and end of the video. Okay, really well done.